things go awry. All right, I put on the Restream chat. I'll ask out there if you guys can hear me now. Can you hear me now? Sorry about that. For some reason, the computer decided not to recognize our microphone or little mixer or whatever the case may be. So we'll try this again. There you are, says Graham. All right. All right, Ryan, it sounds like we're good. Thank you kindly, sir.
No problem.
I'll talk to you later. Thank you, Ryan from Fishman. Helped out to get us going. Woo! Sorry about that, folks. We started a little bit late. We'll give you a little extra bang for the buck. A little bang for the doggone buck. Technology is that way. You know, a lot of people ask. They say, big fella, do you have a studio in your home? And I say, well, I'm not exactly the most technically astute person, although I can figure most things out, if pressed, except for a guitar stand and apparently straps. Okay. But it always seems with this stuff that out of the blue, it just won't work. And then you're left stranded at the toilet bowl. And that's just what kind of happened. But now we're transparent overdrive going on. Yeah, can you dig it? Daniel says, Greg, we saw you in Guilford. Well, I'm hoping to return there with Dylan in the fall. Am I right, Dylan?
That's right.
We're trying to figure out what the heck's going on. No one really knows what's going on in this world. Am I right? All right, folks, today on Wildwood Vision, it's Fender Day. What does that mean? That means I'll play some Fender guitars that I own and talk about them. When I go out to Wildwood and do the videos every month, usually there's a good couple days of us doing a whole bunch of Fender guitars. And this is one I actually got from Wildwood. It is a 57 Wildwood 10 from the custom shop that had Fishman install the Fluence pickups, which I really dig. But you may ask, what is this Wildwood 10 situation? Dylan, what is this Wildwood 10 situation? He doesn't know, but I'll tell you. It means the guitars they're specially tweaked for Wildwood. They're still made. It's a Fender custom shop instrument, but things like there's 10 things that are different. I don't know what those 10 things are, but I will tell you some of the most important ones. 10-inch radius neck, okay, a little flatter. 6105 frets, quarter sawn neck. They have to be under a certain weight. These are all very light guitars. And they usually have a special design pickup, which sound great, but I love my Fishman Fluence pickup, so that's why I have those installed here. Yeah, it's going to be lower. The voice is going to be a little bit lower than the guitar. That's just the way we're going to roll. Can you dig it? Woo! Oh, yeah. Be fun to have a tuner, wouldn't it? Awesome questions out there. Cured through powerful gristle medicine. I like it. Yes. Wouldn't Mrs. Cockery appreciate an drum kit? I mean, one that was less loud. Right now, during this time of day, she is up in the attic doing her work. And the attic is a pretty long way away. This is an old Victorian farmhouse-ish type of situation. Just play a groove and I'll play along. We're just gonna jam for a minute. Is that all right? We gotta get in the doggone wheelhouse.
Yeah.
Just play something, and I'm gonna play something.
Alrighty.
No pressure. saw it as it happened, ladies and gentlemen. You saw it as it happened. You have to be wearing a knit hat to have this gig. That is correct. You are 100% correct.
Yup.
Paul Brown. Is that a Catalina club set that you're playing, the Gretsch?
I'm playing a Renown kit, and it's in Tobacco Burst.
A Renown kit in Tobacco Burst.
It's Renown.
Woo! Can you dig it? I like it. Drummer is freaking bringing it. Snare for days. That's my son on those drums, ladies and gentlemen. That's Dylan James Kuchenheimer Schmidt.
Hey.
It was kind of Kashmirish, wasn't it? You know, sometimes you just gotta unleash the rock. Is that a Clapton Strat? Asks James Rowland. No, James, it is a Wildwood 10 57 Strat. But I do have the Fishman Fluence single with pickups on board. The pickups they come with are excellent. I like the Fishman Fluence pickups because they're noise free. They have two voices. All 5 of the positions of the toggle switch sound magnifico. Can you dig it? What chat is Greg reading? Well, I'm glad you asked that question. So today we're using this Restream app, which allows me to see the questions from all the different formats. So I'm seeing from the various Facebook pages that we're going live from right now, the Wildwood YouTube page, as well as my own Greg Koch Music. What am I saying? YouTube. Sorry, sometimes it's so hard to talk. Sometimes words are hard. Old looking telly though, yeah, that's my 52 telly or 53 real telly that we'll talk about in a minute. Why the 10-inch radius on all the Wildwoods? That's an excellent question. Prior to Wildwood doing the 10-inch radius, all the guitars from the Fender Custom Shop actually came with the old 7.25-inch radius. It was kind of blasphemy in the Custom Shop's culture at that point in time to do one of these historically accurate guitars and then give it a flatter radius. And Wildwood's like, we want a flatter radius. That's what our customers want. We dig it. And so instead of going a 9.5, they went with 10. And I dig it. I dig it a lot. So flatter radius, taller fret. The 6105 fret, the taller fret lets you get under it and bend them strings with a little bit more verve. You know what I'm talking about? A little bit more verve. 7.25 seems so old-fashioned now, but I kind of like it. I do too, to be honest with you. I like both. I like to be able to go, when I play my old vintage 53, there's something about the smaller frets that I dig, but it's kind of like I like to refer to guitars with like my Reverend signature model or this particular Strat with, you know, that I got these pickups in and so on and so forth. It's kind of can do everything. You know what I mean? I don't have to kind of play around because you have to play differently when you're in a guitar with 7.25 inch. You play to that instrument. But on a guitar with a flatter radius, taller frets, and with pickups that don't make any noise, and you got an extra sound, you can kind of do whatever you want. You can let your freak flag fly. Does that make sense? I use that noise for a lot of things, don't I? Right now, it's the sound of the flag, the freak flag, blowing in the wind. Boom. Can you dig it? Now, which YouTube stream are you reading? You have 2 streams running. That's a good question. I don't know which stream are you talking from? No, which stream are you reading from? You have 2 streams running. Oh, you're messing with me. Okay, I could compare the 2 guitars together, my 53, and then I have a Wildwood 1055 telly here as well. That would be kind of fun. Love that song you just played. Well, thank you. It was that we just played it for the first time, really. So we were kind of messing around with that. Before I switch over to the telly, I'm just gonna play like a little. Let's do like a little bluesy thing, and I'll start off clean, and then we'll get filthy as it goes. Where's the bass? We don't have a bass player in quarantine with us. We just have Dylan, since he's my son. He's in quarantine with us. But as things lighten up a little bit, we might bring Toby down and do a concert outside and broadcast that. But for now, okay. Oh, you're jumping back and forth, but you can see me on both. Am I right? Great Vanzini? You can see me on both, and I can see the comments from both. Can you say, hey, Joe Dingus? I think I just did. I feel the better for it. I love you, bro. I'm from Peru. Say hi, Gene. Hey, Gene. We love you, too. Take it easy down there in Peru. Am I using a pedal board, says Facebook user. I am not using a pedal board. I'm going straight into my Koch amplifier, the signature amp from a company called Koch, which is the same last name as mine, but it's a signature amp from that company called the Greg. And all the sounds you're hearing are on board the amp. Greg, can we get a Savage Beast of the Night cacaw? Matthew, of course. Cacaw! Cacaw! I have no problem embracing the ways of the savage fauna, especially the aerial talon sporting device. Festus McCorkindale as well, friends. Okay? Ready for many glorious tone hues. I like this kind of talk today on the Anders Google. Can you talk about those creepy descending that you can kind of do a thing where you grab the wiggle bar and just kind of. That's from Charlie's Angels. You're too young for Charlie's Angels, but remember that when you go to the commercial where the Farrah Fawcett is going to go, Bosley, and go. I don't know if that's exactly what it did, but it just, in my mind, that's what it did. Okay, a little Charlie's Angels there for you. Who remembers Charlie's Angels? Who's old enough to remember Charlie's Angels? Nowadays, it'd be Charlie's grandmas. Am I right or am I right? Farrah's dead. She's cruising the afterlife with Bosley. Fighting crimes in another dimension. Dig it. Oh. Folsom Prison. Jeff, you're a hard bargain. happened there? Do I need to speak into the microphone? Corona Hornet Blues. Beware of the Corona Hornet, ladies and gentlemen. You see those big things, Dylan? Asian hornets like an armada from hell. Asian hornets, how many? I just can't tell. They're coming over here. I'd like to make them disappear. Corona Hornet, go to hell. With your savage mandible. With your savage mandible. With your savage mandible, ladies and gentlemen. That's the kind of language you don't hear just on any podcast or internet interaction. I got my tongue. And you can hear the voice now? You can hear the voice. Wuhan Blues. Lord, I got a Wuhan Blues. I need a bat to eat. It seemed like it would be a tasty treat. But then it mutated with some other thing. And now we're all sick. That is uncool. Oh, that was a brief song. Savage Man Bites band name, right? I think so too. Assassin Hornets, there we go. The Assassin Hornets, they're coming. That means, you know what's the good news about that? It's more opportunity to stay indoors and play guitar. Who's with me out there? You know, you don't want to wish sickness or illness upon anybody, but you have to look as the cup is half full, okay? Not half empty, Dylan. And the half full part, Freudian slip, half full part is that you could stay inside and play your guitar. Oh, all damn day. All damn day. Okay? Okay, I'm going to switch guitars now. Dylan, do me a favor. Just unplug that first one for just a sec so I don't make a bunch of damn noise. All right, so again, this was your friendly neighborhood. You can see it's in, I think it's in vintage white, transparent white. I remember a buddy of mine, Al Eck, who's out in beautiful Vegas. Any of you blues fans in Las Vegas area, my old buddy Al Eck has lived out there for many years. Used to be a Milwaukeean, and he had a band called the Shuffleaires. And he had a 56 Strat in this very same tone hue. That's why I've always been partial to it. His had a big old neck on it, and that was the neck that actually influenced me purchasing this guitar that I ordered special from the custom shop, which had a October of 56 neck. It's huge! But I wanted a flatter radius, bigger frets, and I wanted 22 frets, because sometimes I'm in the key of B, ladies and gentlemen, and I want to reach to the heights, and I want to taste the fruit of the 22nd fret, the forbidden lands. Now, some vintage folks will get all kind of bent out of it. Oh no, you can't have a 22nd fret, it's heresy. I say, whatevs. Historian, Historiophius. That's a Greek name, Historiophius. You can't hear me speaking? You got to be kidding, Bob, I'm right here. Can you hear me speaking? We'll work on the vocal mic, Greg. Okay, well, maybe we can get our friend Ryan to chime in and turn this rascal up. I can hear him fine, says Jeremy W5. AJZ007 asked, do I still have my collector's choice Greg Martin? Sadly, no. I got rid of that guitar only because I had the opportunity to buy the guitar that I'm about to play, which is this 53 Telecaster. I needed to liquidate a few guitars in my herd so that I could, in fact, get this vintage delight, which, as you would imagine, a little more expensive than your average rascal. So I had to thin the herd a little bit. But that being said, I actually got a hankering to get another one of those guitars. I'm trying to figure it out, but diggity doggone it. I'm telling you right now, that 53 was worth the surrender of a few guitars. Can you dig it? Christopher Brown says, Greg, tell us about your favorite coffee beverage and how you developed your Savage Bends, the little ones that blow my tiny mind. I like this kind of talk. Coffee, well, we finally, after many years of trying to get the dosage right, let's just talk about the dosage, because it used to be I'd go to the coffee shop and I would get, I was really into cappuccinos. I'd get a 4-shot cappuccino. Delicious. Then after a while, that dairy started messing with my esophagus, if I may be so bold. I was starting to get some gut rot that I thought I was dying. I wasn't. It was dairy messing with my soul. So then I stopped drinking coffee for about 3 months. Then I found myself in Europe on a tour for the first time since I'd kicked coffee. And I was having a hard time with the rigors of the road. I'm like, what's wrong with me? Am I getting old? What's going on? And at this moment, I happened to be in a coffee shop, and I went, what is that haunting aroma? And I realized it was the great bean. So I ordered a coffee, and upon drinking that beverage, I just went crazed and realized that it was here to stay. So now, to make a long story short, after messing with various different drip coffee things at home, after messing with, the stovetop espresso maker, and then messing with things like the French press, we finally got a Gaggia machine at home that grinds the bean. You put the water in it, grinds the bean, and then out comes delicious espresso, and it is fantastic. Can you dig it?
I might have to get some more coffee.
Well, I'm going to switch guitars here real quick. Facebook user says, my wife said I can order Brave New Blues for my birthday. Looking forward to a t-shirt too. Well, excellent. We look forward to fulfilling that need for you. Give us up to the highest heights. Everyone always excited about the power and majesty of a little gag I did on a Wildwood shoot called Metal Poppins. I just started singing kind of random words that I could remember from Mary Poppins in a metal voice. And so we did that, and it really, a lot of people enjoyed it. Other people were very troubled by it, and I enjoyed both reactions. An English bank is run with precision. An English household must function much the same. Much the Basharian pot do at 6:02. Demented is the life I lead. Just a spoonful of gristle helps the medicine go down. Not bad for an extemporaneous offering. Dylan went to get coffee, ladies and gentlemen. Dylan went to get coffee. I am going to turn on my amp back here so we can hear this glorious instrument. This is the 53 Telly. You look at that for a split second as I go back here into Never Neverland and try not to expose my butt crack as I do so. Because that's always awkward. When you're on the internet and you're bending over and someone looks at the Valley of Shame and says, hey, what the heck? The dirt spider weeps in the Valley of Shame. That's another one of my great selections for the kids. Oh, yeah. it. It's a good sounding guitar, ladies and gentlemen. So this is a 53 Telecaster. You can hear the neck is very wimpy in comparison to the bridge, but man, the neck sounds good by itself. The middle position. But see, if I add any heat to it, it starts to get a little sensitive. Oh, the neck's not quite feeding back to Maybe we'll do a little song for you by the Man in Black Sabbath. Train it coming and it's rolling round the bend. I ain't seen the sun shining, I don't know when. I'm stuck in Folsom Prison. In time Can you dig it? Can you dig it? Can you dig it? No honey for those pickups, right? There it's a squealer. So herein lies the problem. I love this guitar. It sounds great, clean, so good. But if I add any heat, howls like a damn beast. So I have to have somebody do something to pick it. I don't want it though. I like it for the clean stuff. So I go between this and then my first exploration when I got my signature pickups with Fishman is I put them in a Wildwood 1055 Telecaster. So let's just hear what that sounds like in compares. Can you dig it? Can and will you dig it? All right, let's check it out. Can and will you digs? We know that the sweet telly of old sounds glorious, but here is a custom shop. And right from the get, you can hear this particular instrument has, this is the microphone that feeds the internet. And for some reason today, this mic's levels got messed up. So just be patient with us, folks. We're working out all the difficulties. And of course, this microphone is just for the little PA in the room, which is hard to hear because if I turn it up, it starts howling like a pig. We're figuring it all out on the fly. Can you dig it? Anyways, this particular guitar is a Wildwood 1055 Telecaster. 10-inch radius, 6105 frets. It sounds doggone good. Bridge pickup is diabolical. And I have the two voices because of these pickups have two voices. No, Spider, this has 21 frets on this one. I like that. All right, let's do another little experimental thing. This is ash on this one. This is ash with a maple neck. Exotic toe socks, always. What am I wearing today? Actually, not today. I got white socks on today, which is unusual. Usually I have a more promising option. Play something out of your norm. We're about to do that right now. I'm going to have Dylan just do a random beat, and I'm going to come up with something. And what do you got for me, Dylan? What kind of chunky juiciness do you have? It's dealer's choice. Dealer's choice. Does Fishman also produce lipstick pickups? They produce these pickups. So this is my signature set. They don't have like Dan Electro lipstick pickups at this particular junction in time. But at some point, you never know, could come to fruition. Can you hear me? Could come to fruition. Woo-hoo! Nobody knows it. I like that. Questions out there in Movie Land. How are we doing on time? Holy cats, time goes by so fast when we do The Rock. Am I right? Although we should probably go 10 minutes over because we started 10 minutes late.
We started 4 minutes late.
We started 4 minutes late. Dylan is laying down the law, and it's a powerful law. Ryan Furpo asks, are you playing through your signature Koch amp? I am indeed. So all the sounds you are hearing at this juncture in time are going through that glorious amplification device as far as the guitar is concerned. Would you comment on the content of your book, Operation Pentatonics? I can't make up my mind which books to get first. Well, I would say the book that I did called Guitar Clues, Operation Pentatonics, the one you're referring to, theoretically, it's the simplest book because everyone pretty much knows the blues scale. You know, the minor pentatonic scale with an added flatted fifth is the blues scale. And then I take a major pentatonic scale with the added flatted third. And I basically, around those two scales, which pretty much, if you've been playing for a while to the point where you're like an advanced, you know, an intermediate player, you're gigging in a blues band or a roots rock band, you know those two scales. I add all the secret sauce just using those two scales. So vibratos, bends, pedal steel bends, chicken picking, some jazzy chops, all kinds of different stuff. And then to demonstrate and different intervallic things that you can do with those scales, it's kind of fun. Then, in addition to that, I have these sample improvisations that go over these jam tracks that are included on the CD, and those rhythm parts are also transcribed. So there's some Travis Pickett stuff, some funk stuff, some cool blues chords, or more of the jazzy voices I like to do when I do a shuffle sometime. So it's got all kinds of different stuff on there for your listening and dining pleasure. So I think that's a good book to kind of, you know, if you're familiar with the pentatonic scales and you're in a rut and you want to add some chicken picking and some pedal steel bands and gussy up your rhythm chops a bit, that's a good place to begin. Can you dig? Greetings from Athens. Dylan, did we have fun in Athens? Did we have fun in Athens?
Yeah, we did.
The Jam Pedals guys rolled out the red carpet for us last time we were in Athens. Had a fantastic time. I've been to Athens twice. Looking forward to coming back there again once the pestilence is past, mind you. How can I have this sound with Amplitude? Well, that's a good question. Amplitude has some pretty good sounding stuff. Actually, when I was over there and we did that, remember that we did that IK Media little concert at their showroom? That's online, by the way. You can find that of me, Dylan, and Toby Lee Marshall on the organ. Anyway, yeah, we were going to have them kind of model the amplifier, but we didn't get a chance to it. So hopefully soon. Hello from South Dakota. How many amps do you still have now that you have your Koch amp? That's an excellent question. I still have 2 custom Vibroluxes. I have a 68 Super Reverb with D-Series JBL still. I have 2 of the Koch combos. I have a head and cabinet version, and I have a multi-tone or a twin tone combo. I have some other things too that I'm forgetting. Oh, my amp made locally by my buddy Dave Robrecht, Blue Fire. That is the Harmonic Pummeler 3000, a glorious 410 amplifier. Congratulations, you've received 1,000 messages today with Restream Chat. Well, thank you, Restream. Sinister greetings from Denmark. Love all your work, GK. Well, sinister greetings to you, my good man. Let's see. Isn't Fiesta Red a most excellent telefinish? Indeed it is. This is kind of the faded Fiesta Red. It's party time, almost like the Coral, but what is your favorite whole tone scale lick? Boy, that's hard to say. I throw in a few of them. A lot of times I'll throw in the whole tone with a blues lick, like. am the official spokesman for Scotland, and the whole nation says hi.
Nice.
Impressive. We say hi back to you.
The ambassador.
Scotland, we're coming. Hopefully at the end of October, November. I'm hopeful, but we shall see. Thoughts on Jimmy Bryant? I love Jimmy Bryant. I'm a big fan of Jimmy Bryant's playing. I figured out some of those tunes a long time ago. I still can kind of play the Knight Rider, I think. A little bit, maybe. I got to know his son, John Bryant. What are the questions? If it's not Scottish, it's crap. Yes, I can dig it. What was the last time you were in an epic guitar battle, and who was it with? And did they slam down their guitar and vie in crosses? No, it's never that way, especially nowadays. You get together, you just have a nice little conversation on stage, and when people sit in with my band, I try to make them as relaxed as possible and let them do their thing. And that's always a good thing. It's never a sword fight. It's always just a little conversation like, hey, how's it going? Oh, I'm not bad. How you doing? I'm doing all right. What about this place? Yeah, I really like that gal in the front row. Yeah, she's dirty. That kind of stuff. I didn't say all that, did I? Oh, great. It's not like it's not on the internet forever. Okay, can you dig it? If I'm not mistaken, you used to use that red Tilly a lot before you got your signature model. You are correct, Flat Fifth. I did use this guitar quite a bit prior to get my signature model. It's still a great guitar. I do prefer using my other one at this point in time just because it's tricked out to my own specificat, if you know what I'm saying. Specificat, Paul Brown. Did you hear that? Specificat. Real words for real people. Discovered you in early 1990 SRV, early 90 SRV DVD. Actually, it was 2002, I think that came out. But yes, thank you. Yeah, that was fun to do, the Stevie Ray Vaughan DVDs. Greg, me and the family are so grateful you never got addicted to meth or roast chicken chips. You are a legend. Do you like vintage or modern instruments better? I don't know what to say about the roast chicken chips. They sound delicious. But meth, not so much. Although we are rewatching Breaking Bad, and always a treat. What was the question again? My brain just went. That's just how quickly it goes, ladies and gents. Vintage or modern instruments. I like both. I have a tendency to play modern instruments more live just because they're ergonomically set up for battle. And so the only really vintage instrument I have really is this 53 Tele. I do have a 60s Epiphone acoustic, Caballero. That's a great little guitar with a de-arming pickup in it. Dig it. Those are really the only two things I have. Someone wants some Stevie Ray licks. You know what? Right? The way his doing Albert King licks, right? Can you dig it? Can you recommend a good hearing aid? Yeah, SRV played a hell of a lot like Albert King. He certainly did. His slow blues playing was obviously directly lifted from Albert King, but you know what? That's always good. Good morning, Mr. Koch. I remember having seen you in the 90s on the front page of a review of Fender Telly, the Greg Sock signature. Am I right, or am I too old? I didn't. Well, the only signature Telly I did with Fender was actually through a store here locally that did a short run of this Strat from the custom shop, and then the Telly that kind of matches it with the B-Bender. It wasn't an official signature thing. It was a kind of short run, special dealer run back in the day. Thanks for the overtime, Greg. You got it, Paul Brown. Is there a USB input on the red Telly for the Fishman pickups as there is on your Reverend? Yes, there is. If you look down here, I don't know if you can see that. There is, right? Actually, it's to the side. There's the mini USB to charge up the pickups, and away you go. Well, it's nice you turn down the volume, you don't lose any highs. Sounds good. It's a nice relic. It is. Favorite chord, asks Jute Dullman. I like this chord. I like to go. Or something I go like this. If I do like a minor blues in A minor. When I go to the F, I might do this one. And then to the E. And then to the B flat. There's a tune of mine called Your Blues Give Me the Blues. Kind of a judgment. But it's got this river goes. What chords are you playing in the chorus for Them's the Breaks? That's a good question. I've changed it over the years. It's mostly a G. So I kind of keep that. I try to keep that going. So it's like. I used to do this. That first chord, you can look at it as like an A flat over an E flat, or you can look at it as an E sus, but I like to look at it as an A flat over E flat, and then that's an E flat over B flat. But lately I've been doing this thing where I'll go kind of a gospel-y weird thing. And that's just a B flat triad with an E in the bass. And then to F major to this. And this is, I don't know what the hell this is. This is like, you could look at it as an A flat, major 7 with a sharp 11. Pat asks, what is the 6 count on the Allman Brothers thing you showed me the other day? Boy, I can't remember what song was it again? You remember? I can't remember what we did. Oh, I know, the 6 count, the Dickie Betts lick. I know what you're saying. Okay. So I showed Pat this Dickie Betts lick, and you can do it anywhere. Jimmy Page used to do this. It's kind of a fiddle lick. And it's a 6-note thing that you repeat over and over again. Okay, so if I'm in A major pentatonic, that's the whole lick, right? So first 6 are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Add other notes to it, like. Right? Can you dig it? Favorite pre-war World War II guitarist? Got to be Django. I'm going to go with Django. Although Robert Johnson would be in there. And, of that era, who else we got? Lonnie Johnson. Eddie Lang. You know those cats. Can you dig it? Well, pre-World War, yeah, I guess Charlie Christian would be in there, but he was right around World War II. Can you play some Yes or Steve Howe? I really don't know all that much Yes, to be honest with you, although I did kind of finish learning bits of the clap at some point. Can you dig it? Can you play Mercy, Mercy, Mercy? Well, we certainly can. You know what? We'll do Mercy, Mercy, Mercy next time because we're getting close to being out of time right here. Oh, gone a little bit over is what I've done. Could you come and perform on stage in South Africa? Love your playing, the trio, etc. And your son and the guy on organ really rock. Well, thank you very much. You know, I was in South Africa years ago. I did a trio performance there on behalf of Fender. We played in Cape Town, also in Durban and in Johannesburg. Someone asked if I'm a fan of Tommy Emmanuel. Absolutely. He's a monster. He's absolutely a gem. International treasure is Tommy Emmanuel. Yes, Wildwood is saying, Paul Brown is saying, I'm live every Tuesday and Thursday, 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern, right here with Wildwood Vision, which now includes YouTube, as you guys are finding out. This is the first time we've gone simultaneously live on Facebook as well as YouTube, both on my YouTube page, which is Greg Koch Music. Please subscribe if you haven't. And Wildwood Guitars YouTube page, which you can go over there and engage. I'd love to see you play with Junior Brown. I do love Junior Brown. I'm a guy who likes to party. Have I jammed with Robin Ford? I have indeed on a couple different occasions. As a matter of fact, he's on a record of mine called Plays Well with Others. He's on about 3 of the tunes. It's been a while since I've seen Robin, though. But, I've seen him online. We've talked online on little comments here and there, but I have not talked to him in a while. It seems like he's doing well. He's living in Nashville now. I'd love to see you play at the Florida Theater in Jacksonville. It'd be a perfect venue to see you. I'd love to come down there. We're going to try to get all over the place once this pestilence has subsided. Greg, I just bought an aged Magenta NAMM 2020 Strat Rosewood neck that I wish I had a video of you playing. It is still at Wildwood Guitars. Could you do a video on it before it ships? Boy, I'm not in Colorado. They would have to ship it from there. Unless you wanted them to ship it to my house, me play it, put it back in, and then go. But that is obviously fraught with peril. But if you wanted to do that, we could probably work that out. Or at some other point on down the road, you bring it out to a gig or a clinic or something. I could do a little something. You could do that too. Newton Theater in Newton, New Jersey, or Morristown, New Jersey would be cool. Boy, we're going to try to get to all these different places. And Eduardo says, I'm your fan, man. Well, thank you very much. Appreciate that. Great slide on the solo of Spanish Wide. Thank you very much. How did you get that sound? It's glorious. Well, thank you. That is actually, as I recall, I was plugged into one of those old Gibson amps with the mic pre that you can overdrive. I was going straight into the amp. I just cranked it up, and it sounded like it was going to explode. And I believe I was using a Les Paul on that in the bridge pickup. I can't remember exactly, but I think that's what I was using. Are you answering YouTube comments? Although I was losing my mind looking on comments on Facebook. Yes, I'm seeing all the comments simultaneously when I can see them, because obviously when I'm playing, it's difficult. Where can we buy the Koch instructional materials? You can certainly go to my website at gregkoch.com. All of my products are through Hal Leonard, so they're available anywhere, but all of my specific stuff is available at my website. There's a website called guitarinstructor.com, which is Hal Leonard's instructional website. A bunch of the DVD material I did is on there, as well as I think another dozen video lessons that are specifically for that web format. So you can go and you can do like a subscription if you'd like, and then you can get all that stuff on there. But your YouTube channel is Greg Koch, not Greg Koch Music, is it? Well, thank you. Thank you for informing me that. Go to Greg Koch. I thought it was Greg Koch Music, but there's a picture of me on stairs with a Telecaster going like this. And that's me. Can you dig it? Hi, Greg. Thanks a lot for all you do with every guitar you play. Well, thank you very much for tuning in. I appreciate it. Greetings from New York City. Do you recommend a Tyler HSS or an Anderson HSS? Boy, that... I'm looking to get away from my Fender. Well, let me put it this way. I think they're both magnificent instruments, but I have said on occasion that if the majority of what I did every day was sessions where I sat in a room or in a studio and just played a bunch of different material, and I needed to have a Strat that was like a super Strat, I would buy a James Tyler HSS. Just because it would cover so much ground, and they stay in tune like you would not believe. You can treat that dog on whammy bar like a farm animal, play it anywhere on the neck, and it's in tune. And that's something that you got to be a little bit more MacGyver-like on some other guitars. I'm sure it would work on the other guitar we had mentioned. Sorry, my brain is going flat. But what I've noticed particularly about the James Tyler is that they do a good job of having the modern ergonomics, but still maintaining some of that earthy old Stratness. That's me personally. Can you dig it? Do you steal organ voicings from Toby? Every now and again he'll do something and I'll go, I'll be taking that. Any P90s in the collection? Yes, Andy. There is a new signature guitar that I'm doing with Reverend that's going to have P90s on it. And I have new signature P90 pickups coming from Fishman. Those were supposed to be out this summer at Summer NAMM, but obviously that's not happening because of the pestilence. But we're going to try to get that guitar out with the pickups in it before the end of the year. So stay tuned to that. Is brass a tone metal? It is now. Would love to hear you and John Koneski. I don't know who that is. Sometimes I'm blissfully unaware of glorious things. I'll look him up. Thanks for the continuing to share you and Dylan's awesome skill. Well, thank you very much for tuning in. Thoughts on Japanese vintage ES335 copies? I can't speak to those. I haven't really had a chance to mess with it. Dallas show. I'm supposed to be there, Spider. If it's happening, we'll be there. Loved your KMT show and masterclass a few years ago with David Grissom. Have you listened to his latest live release? No, but I plan on doing so. And as a matter of fact, we're going to start doing interviews remotely from my house through Wildwood. We're going to start filming those, I think, next Wednesday, Paul Brown. Am I right? And David Grissom is on the docket to do one of them, as well as Josh Smith and Rick Vito, and we'll get a bunch of other people as well. And we're going to do some interviews, and I think we may not do those live. We may do them and then post them after the fact. So we'll keep you apprised on that. But I'm looking forward to hearing his solo record, I'm sure, or his live record. I'm sure it's magnificent. Shane Allen says, I love these weekly sessions. You are truly an epic beast, worthy of unearthly, unproportional. Just ordered one of your signature amps. Well, thank you very much. I think you will enjoy it immensely. I certainly enjoy my amplifier. It's magnificent. There is no better than anybody else. He's got his own voice and I've stolen so much from David. The only thing you can do as a guitar player, ladies and gentlemen, in my opinion, is to have your own thing so that when you speak with your own voice and you say your own thing. And that may be notey, it may not be notey, it may be technical, it may be not. It's just your own thing. And David has his own thing in spades. He's got his own neck of the woods with a big G on it. And it's a glorious place that I like to visit often. Can you dig it? Am I a Jerry Garcia fan? You know, what's just interesting is I never was a huge Grateful Dead fan. I've tried. I have given it the college try. And there are some things that I hear and I really like, and there's some things that Jerry does in particular that I really like. But was never, shall we say, in the cult. I just was kind of like, just because sometimes that live stuff sounded so hideous. Other times you'd hear stuff that's like, they sound great. But I don't know. To me, like the Allman Brothers in comparison as a jam band and Greg Allman as a vocalist and them as songwriting and kind of a mishmash of Americana and pushing it down the field a little bit, I was much more of a fan of the Allman Brothers as far as that stuff is concerned, because it's a similar thing. Two drummers, rootsy, but definitely the Bros had more of a blues thing happening. Greg Allman and Dwayne and Dickie, what? A juggernaut, but I'm not a fan. Let's put it that way. Cherry Garcia fan. You know what? Give me a break. Okay, this is my 4th day with no sugar. I'm going in the other direction, Paul. Paul, I'm on the way back down. Europe 72, exactly. That's the one everyone tells me to get, and there's some footage of that tour that I enjoy watching, and they sound great. So yes. Love your more outside licks and playing. What are some scales and ideas that you could recommend studying that more outside? Well, to be honest with you, that's a whole other thing, Jacob. But as far as the materials that I have where I do outside stuff, there's a book I did called Guitar Gumbo, where I'm on the front in a chef's outfit. It's troubling. But inside is it's a collection of articles that I did for a guitar magazine with audio that goes with them. There's a CD that goes with it. And some of that outside playing is in there. I do a little bit of it on a book I did called Lead Licks, where I'll do versions of licks in various different genres. And I'll always include an outside version of that lick, which kind of gives you a little insight into how I approach taking things outside. Joni Mitchell, love her. You kidding me? As a guitar player, our hands are extremely important. Do you have hand or nail care routine? I don't, as a matter of fact. As long as I have a little bit of white showing above the cuticle, I got enough to pop the strings, so I'm good. Yeah, I don't. I've never been into the fake nails thing, and some people swear by it. I just have never found a need for it. So, listen, folks, I better hit the road here. Thanks so much for tuning in. Thank you, Paul, for hanging in with us. We shall return soon. What kind of pick do I use? I use these Jim Dunlap Prime Tone 3 1.4 millimeter picks. They're very conducive to my own personal lifestyle. And I ditch it a lot between my first and middle finger. I'm always kind of going like this and going back and forth as the need arises. Like a ninja. I'm not a ninja, though. All right, folks, thanks for tuning in. Really appreciate it. We'll see you again. Actually, tomorrow I'll be doing I'm on Wildwood today. Tomorrow's Fishman. So a little bit more acoustic activity going on there as well. And that's at 4 p.m. Central Time, which I'll also broadcast on all of these various YouTube portals. All right, folks, thank you so much. We'll see you soon. Adios.